Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. Ever since Jaguar Wright appeared on the Piers Morgan show the other night to share her thoughts about P. Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé, as well as some other people in the industry, and she was like, they're nasty little people who do nasty little things. Jaguar Wright has started to get a little backlash from people like MC Shan and the journalist Torre. Watch this.
One time for your mind, two times for your soul, your Uncle Sugar. This one right here is for Jaguar. Check this out. Jaguar, I'm the first nigga for the right? But you're getting a platform about talking about some shit that ain't even your motherfucking business. Who am I sticking it to, and who's doing this, and who? That's really none of your business at all. Dig what I'm saying? Now, the way you doing it's like you've been hurting this business. Niggas done you over. They done me over too. So I'm gonna give you the equivalent of me to you and show you where pride and morality and stand on your own chin. Here's how it go. I'm the fucking biggest well-known crackhead or whatever coke sniffer in the motherfucking industry, right? But guess what? I got high with most of the niggas that, man, I would never say they motherfucking name and they know my motherfucking chest stand like that, right? But I could get on this fucking thing and say, y'all been calling me a crackhead for all these years. Let me tell you, I've got high with this guy and I've got high with that guy, and I definitely know that guy gets high. It would be the same shit. Whoever these niggas are sticking it to and shit, it's none of your business, shawty. I hear you. I love that you got the heart to even get on these motherfucking social motherfucking platforms and say that. Because most niggas don't even have the that you got as a woman. So I give you all those props. But on some real nigga shit, yo, anybody give a what the f? Every time I gotta look at your shit, I gotta hear about a nigga. I ain't that type of nigga, yo. I love the out of your content, but nigga, I can't keep listening to about another nigga what the fuck he doing in his bedroom and shit. Shawty, stand on your own. I can understand you've been hurting this music business, but you throwing people under the bus that don't even want to fucking be there. You're telling people that this one got a molested, this one this. Maybe it did, but it'll be their time to tell people when they're ready to tell people what their story is. It's not up to you, shawty. Nobody gives you that fucking right. And okay, I understand that you feel big like a motherfucker, cause you got everybody listening to you. They finally hearing me and shit. But stop dragging more niggas under the bus. You made your point, shawty. Go make a fucking record or something, alright? Said you was that good and shit. Go make a fucking record. Me? I don't give a fuck. I'm chilling, nigga. I got tour buses in my yard and shit and doing all kinds of nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? But my main thing is I might pop shit, but I'll never fucking bow my integrity to tell on another motherfucker for some shit that people saying happened to me. Nigga, you get high, Shan. That I'm telling on every nigga that got high. Hold that shit, shawty. That's some real nigga shit. I hear you've been hurt. Get over it. Go see a psychiatrist.
Alright, so there you have it. MC Shan had some very strong words for Jaguar Wright. And after MC Shan got finished saying what he had to say, a whole bunch of people jumped in his comment section to give him a little support. And one person said, Shan, I swear, you get all my damn respect over here for just being you. I grew up on you and still listen to you. Peace, my brother. Stay blessed. Preach. And then somebody else was like, I could not have said it no better. And then after that, somebody else came through and was like, I respect you for schooling her, MC Shan. Many have been screwed over by the industry. Not many will provide proper guidance. That's what's lacking in the community as a whole. Prayers up. Listen, while I agree with MC Shan 100% that everything's not open for discussion, I totally disagree with MC Shan when he's like, you gotta let all these MFers tell their own story. Because if you have proof that somebody's out here committing moiters, or you have proof that some pedophile is out here pedophiling, you don't wait for them to tell their own story. You're not like, yeah, I know this dude's a kitty tickler, but I'm waiting for him to publish his own book so he can tell his own story. I mean, come on now, everything's not that black and white. Sometimes when you have probable cause or you got some serious proof, you gotta blow up some ninja spots. Listen, let me know down below. Do you agree with MC Shan, or are you over there like, yo, this ninja right here is bugging? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, after MC Shan jumped online to share his thoughts about Jaguar Wright, Touré, the journalist, jumped into the mix, and he was like, yo, why are y'all out here listening to Jaguar Wright? It's obvious that the chick is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and aside from that, this chick has not furnished not one receipt. She hasn't given you a CVS receipt, a Walmart receipt, a Target receipt. This chick hasn't even given you a movie stub, but yet, y'all are out here hanging on her every word. Check this out.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's attorney was on TMZ. He said he didn't send a cease and desist. He sent what some would call a threat letter. He said either take out the parts accusing my clients of things they did not do, or we'll get a court to make you do that. The reason why this actually would work is because Jaguar Wright has no receipts. The lawyer said putting her on Piers Morgan elevated her rumor mongering to journalism. People have repeatedly asked, why hasn't Jaguar Wright been sued? But the real question at this point is, why is it when the least bit of legal scrutiny was applied to Jaguar's claims, both Piers Morgan and her had to run away from them? If she had receipts, if she had the truth on her side, this would not matter. She could say, hey, I can go into a court of law and prove this, or at least make a case. She doesn't have any receipts. I'm not saying this because I'm being paid by Jay and Beyonce. I'm saying this because what Jaguar has been saying has been crazy. And it's fine for her to YouTube her wild stuff down there in the fever swamps of the internet. But when you want to come up into journalism world, which Piers Morgan is barely not even journalism world, but it looks like journalism world. When you want to come into that, you gotta have some receipts for what you're saying, or shut up. A lot of people asking me this in the comments. Why did they send the cease and desist to Piers Morgan and not to Jaguar Wright? Because Piers Morgan has money and he has a boss. He works in part for Rupert Murdoch. So you can say to him, if you don't stop, we will sue you and take your money. And his boss, Rupert Murdoch, will say, oh hell no, we're not doing that. So Piers Morgan is an entity who will respond to a cease and desist. Jaguar Wright doesn't really have any money. She doesn't really have a boss. So there's nobody to tell her you have to stop. There's no point in which she has to stop. There's no value in Jay-Z and Beyonce suing an entity who cannot pay them. And they're not really even looking for money. They're just looking to make you stop being out there lying. Nothing you can do to Jaguar legally can do that. But we can make Piers and other serious media, Piers and serious media, because he is not serious media, understand this is the consequence. If you platform Jaguar Wright, you better be able to say the things she's saying are true. And of course, no one can do that.
Okay, so after Touré said what he had to say, a whole bunch of people jumped in his comment section too. And one person said, so the thing she said about Diddy was true, but not Jay-Z and B? And then somebody else was like, Jaguar Wright can tell me my correct date of birth, and I wouldn't listen to her. And then somebody else was like, it was also a warning to other channels not to give Jaguar any more time. And then, last but not least, somebody else came through and was like, it's a shame that you have to explain that. Now, after Touré and MC Shan gave their opinions, people were divided into different camps. But there wasn't only two camps, because there was a third camp that was like, nah, we rocking with Jaguar Wright until the wheels fall off.
So he come out here and says, no major media will F with Jaguar after the ultimatum, Jay-Z lawyer, gave Piers Morgan. That'll quieten that. And it throws the notice out there, to try to quieten the masses.
And plus, what he's basically saying is ridiculous. Nobody can have an opinion or a comment unless your background is clean. Well, if that's the case, then you shouldn't be making no comments either. Weren't you accused of SA-ing somebody in 2019? Weren't you, Teray? You're not God, Teray. Who gave you permission to judge people?
And now he's a psychiatrist. She got a mental problem. If he was a real journalist, he'll be asking Jay-Z questions like, "Hey, how do you feel about Diddy? Do you think he's guilty? Do you think he's innocent?" We ain't hearing shit but him with the pom-poms. I don't got pom-poms at. He just back there, give me a J, give me an A. He back there cheering, you know what I'm saying?
And what does it say about you, Teray? You discredit Jag because she has mental health issues, something she can't control. I guess you're above that. I don't know what your problem. I say you got mental health issues. You sound like you were at the freak-offs, Teray. Why don't you talk about that instead of Jag dealing with mental health issues? Why don't you talk about your visits at the damn freak-offs? Because I want to know.
It sounds like he's still trying to keep his invite and protect the host of the party.
Alright, so as you can see, people have very different opinions about Jaguar Wright in her interview on Piers Morgan. But this really isn't all about Jaguar Wright. Instead, it's more so highlighting some of the issues that we have with regard to free speech and understanding its limits in the age of social media. In other words, we're having a problem understanding what's in bounds and what's out of bounds. What a lot of people don't understand is that even though I have the right to say whatever I want, I cannot say whatever I want anywhere that I want. For example, I can yell out, "There's a bomb," in the courtesy of my own home all day, every day. But I can't yell out, "There's a bomb," in an airport or on an airplane, unless there's actually a bomb. Because if I do, my black behind is going to be hauled off to jail. I also can't defame someone's character or commit slander, which means I can't make a declarative statement as if it's a statement of fact that injures a third party's reputation without furnishing proof to back up what I'm saying. Now, although YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have become platforms where everybody goes and almost everything goes, and you can find almost anything on these sites because they're one-stop shops where you can find channels that upload stories that range from the 100% factual to the absolutely bizarre, like Jay-Z and Beyoncé are really Oprah Winfrey's secret parents, or Kanye West is really Jesus, but he doesn't want you to know yet. Bloggers and podcasters on these social media sites are held to much lower standards. Let me say that again. Much lower standards. Hold on. Let me say that one more time with a beat behind it. A much lower legal standards than the standards that are applicable to mainstream media. And although shows like Piers Morgan's Uncensored are posted on YouTube, it's not a YouTube show. It's a major network show that is also shown on YouTube. And I know that a lot of people nowadays don't think there's a difference, but there's a difference. So, what Jaguar Wright might be able to get away with saying on YouTube because it's like her second home, she cannot say legally on Piers Morgan without opening Piers Morgan and his parent company up to a major lawsuit. With that being said, Piers Morgan was so pressed for views that he ignored one of the basic rules of the news, which is this: the accused are treated only as having allegedly committed crimes until you have unwavering proof or until they're convicted. Now, I'm not an omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent being, so I don't know what Jaguar Wright knows, and I don't know if what she's saying is the truth or a bunch of lies. I have my personal opinion, but I don't know. What I do know is this: at some point when you're making bold claims and allegations that suggest that people are out here actually abusing people, you have to furnish some proof to support what you're saying. Or you have to make it abundantly clear that you're dealing in the world of speculation. Now, let me be clear. I like Jaguar. I want Jaguar to be out here making as much money as Jaguar can make on YouTube. But with that being said, we as the viewing public have got to stop acting like everything that's said on YouTube is absolute facts. And we have to start applying a little discernment. And what I'm saying to you right now also applies to when you're listening to me. Now, I know, somebody's gonna come in the comment section and be like, "Yo, Source, you know Jaguar's telling the truth because nobody ever sued her." Well, the other day on The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne the God set forth an interesting theory as to why he believes that people like Beyoncé and Jay-Z have never sued Jaguar Wright. Check this out.
Morgan has a show called Uncensored, and we all know Piers Morgan, big name in broadcasting. So he had a guest on the show, and that guest made some claims against Jay-Z, and even he ended up having to apologize to Beyoncé as well too.
thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as there's something to say that other people want to hear. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with a legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. There are legal limits on us too, and we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
So first of all, he says that these people that he has on his platform, and this conversation was in relation to a lot of the coverage that different outlets are doing on the Diddy accusations. These people have platforms with or without shows like mine, because anybody can get on TikTok, YouTube, and have conversations and allege things. I think people think throwing the word allegedly out there protects you from certain things, but just because someone has a platform, I think broadcasters and certain journalists have put on certain shows and just platformed a little bit differently than these people who are just on YouTube or whatever.
And a lot of times people do slip through the cracks. There's things that you don't see and don't find out until later on. But when people are making claims like the way people are making claims, you have to do your due diligence to make sure that if you're having that person on your platform, the proper and correct news.
Well, the problem is people don't understand platforms. Anyway, you can't sue YouTube. You can't sue you can't sue any of the social media platforms. But when you get on an actual network, when you get on a TV station or a platform that is attached to a larger corporation, now that corporation is liable for the things that are being said on their platform. Right. There's nothing to gain from suing Joe Blow on YouTube that's just running his mouth.
True.
and that's what most people don't understand. A lot of these people that do these claims and do these accusations and do these things on their platform don't have anything. It might look like they have this and have that, but most of that stuff is all false. They don't own half the stuff that they say. They don't have cars. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have homes. So it's half the time it don't make any sense suing those people.
Well, let me tell you who got the money to see if they, even if it don't make sense, a Jay-Z and a Beyonce. People will defend their names because that is their business. That is how they make their money.
But think about how much stuff Jay-Z and Beyonce ignore.
Right.
The reason they didn't ignore it this time is because of the platform it was set on.
100%.
It was set on a platform that they can actually sue, a platform that is actually liable. Because suing a brokey costs you money.
Yes.
Suing somebody who don't have anything to lose is a waste of your time and
your money and your resources and your time.
I'm gonna say it don't matter unless you just whatever. Well, it's back to something we were talking about earlier, though, because I just think this is a very important point. A lot of these people talking crazy just aren't worth suing. And I just want to stress that suing a multi-million-dollar corporation makes sense for a multi-millionaire. Suing some random on a YouTube page does not. But trust and believe, those folks can and will get sued too. So you really have to watch yourself on these platforms. And I just want to stress to everybody, there is no such thing as free speech. That is the biggest crock malarkey that this country has ever told us. There is a cost to every word that comes out of your mouth. Are you willing to pay the price?
Go off, Uncle Charlotte.
Is the complete absolute truth. Like you said, there's people out there and don't follow the trend where I'm just going to talk about people. I'm going to get my page lit and I'm going to make all this money because, like you said,
there's no such thing as free speech.
There's no such thing as free speech.
There's a cost to every word that comes out of your mouth. Sometimes that cost is a punch in the face.
Listen, let me know what you think about Charlemagne the God saying that the reason why a lot of these broke behind YouTubers have never been sued is because they ain't got no money. Now, my response to people who are out here like, yo, Source, you know Jaguar Wright is telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? Because if she was lying, Jay-Z and Bey would have sued her by now. My response is a little different than Charlemagne the God's, but my response is this. Everybody out there who's making this particular argument is actually making an argument of ignorance. And let's be clear, I'm not saying that your argument is ignorant or that you're ignorant. It's actually the actual term for what I'm talking about. An argument from ignorance is a fallacy in informal logic. The fallacy is committed when one asserts that a proposition is true because it has not yet been proven false, or a proposition is false because it has not yet been proven true. If a proposition has not yet been proven true, one is not entitled to conclude solely on that basis that is false. And if a proposition has not yet been proven false, one is not entitled to conclude solely on that basis that is true. So, based on the argument of ignorance, just because Jaguar Wright has not been sued by Jay-Z and Beyonce does not mean that you can conclude that what she's been saying is true. But, hold your horses before you get mad. Based on the same argument, you also cannot conclude that what she's saying is not true. Therefore, the only thing that you can really conclude from the fact that Jay-Z and Beyonce have not sued Jaguar Wright is that Jay-Z and Beyonce have not sued Jaguar Wright. Alright, so interestingly enough, to keep things in perspective, the YouTube channel Real Life Street Stars, which Jaguar is a regular, has added a new disclaimer on their channel, which says, disclaimer, The information provided by the speaker/presenter on the IDAC platform is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or the completeness of this information. And I know, you're over there like, Source, why in the world are you reading us channel disclaimers? I'm reading this one to you because it's important. Because this particular disclaimer was added to the channel right before Jaguar Wright and Orlando Brown dropped their latest video, which is entitled Clash of the Titans. And this particular disclaimer was not there the day before when Tyrese, Genuine, and Tank were on the show. So, it just goes to show you that now that they know that Jay and Bay are on a case, Jaguar and friends are covering their bases, and that's a good thing. Now, having said that, Jaguar Wright has officially put Jay-Z on the radar, and now other people are picking up those signals.
It's Jaguar Wright, but it happened on the Piers Morgan show, which makes it kind of questionable in terms of legitimacy, because when you go on the Piers Morgan show, you think it's all legitimate, and that I think was the issue. Jaguar was Jaguar, and she went on that show on a major international, globally watched broadcast show, saying the things that she's been saying on YouTube. The things that she was saying were basically alleging that Diddy
Allegedly
is the same person as Jay-Z. That's basically the summary of it. Jay-Z and Beyonce's attorney Alex eventually spoke out and had this to say.
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. Remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly. Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. We don't pay much mind to, random folks, saying what they do on the internet, or so-called bloggers. I think what changed here is that somebody sort of weaponized and put it up on a platform of a so-called journalist. And that's where, I felt it appropriate to spring into action. As I know you both know, I'm a proponent of free speech. So is Mr. Carter. But this is different, of course. And so that's why we acted. Yeah, again, I don't pay much mind to random folks who want to tweet, say what they do on the internet. What changed here in my mind is that somebody exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality or what have you, and lifted it up. And by doing that, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. This is not a free flow of ideas and those sort of democratic ideals. This is lifting somebody and taking advantage of somebody who's saying, these sorts of things. And if you look at the history here, all sorts of things that are, untethered to reality.
Well, I like the fact that you're saying that you love free speech. He's talking about Jaguar or whoever, but you also call Piers a so-called journalist, so that was kind of shady. I like the fact that you're saying you don't care what people say and that people should be encouraged for free speech, because that's what this is. This is free speech. And again, this is Black excellence, at least how they present themselves. But there are lots of things that people do say about these people behind the scenes. They do call them dark. They do call Jay-Z in some circles evil, and there's a lot of allegations that I won't even get into because I don't have the facts. I don't like to put out things that aren't factual, at least that I don't know about, to be a fact. But the people that are saying the things about these people are people that are close to them and that know them. The Jay-Z name is getting louder in the conversation.
Let me tell you something. If Jay-Z is over there doing something that he's not supposed to be doing, whatever he's doing in the dark is eventually going to come to the light. And as you have learned with regard to the Diddy case, even though some of these dudes think that they're above the law, they often forget that they're not above the Lord. And the minute that God decides that he wants to expose someone, it's over. And you gotta remember, even though these dudes got billions in the bank, one thing that they don't have is arms that are long enough to box with God. Now, the other day, Blueface's mom, Carlissa, inserted herself into the Diddy drama because she jumped online to let everybody know that she is not happy with how y'all are out here treating Diddy's mama. Check this out.
I know Diddy going through something right now, and that ain't got nothing to do with his mama. Where is the soldiers at to walk her in and out of that courtroom so that them junkies ain't out there harassing her like that? Now, I know he got some boys somewhere. We can't be just letting people harass nobody's mama in their old age trying to go support their child. That's where we gotta draw the line, people. That was not okay. That was not okay.
He's a predator and he's a Janet. He's a predator.
Janice, how are you feeling?
Your son is a predator.
Now, after Carlissa jumped online and said that she's very upset that the soldiers weren't out there protecting Diddy's mom, a whole bunch of people had something to say. And one person was like, I agree with her. And then somebody else was like, a mother knows what she raised, and I'm gonna leave it right here. And then somebody else was like, but did they lie? And then somebody else was like, she sees herself in Janice Combs. And then after that, somebody else came through and was like, he graded all his soldiers. Why? I just can't with the internet sometimes. Anyhow, I don't even understand what Carlissa's talking about. What is she upset about? The only thing that happened there was Janice Combs was walking into the courtroom and a few news reporters and a few people on the sidelines were shouting a few things at her. And I'm like, what difference would it make whether she's walking alone or there's like a group of dudes around her? Because even if there was a group of dudes, they're not going to create like a soundproof barrier. She's still gonna hear what the people on the sidelines are saying. So I don't understand what like having a bunch of soldiers surrounding her is gonna do. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Walk her into the courthouse while they're surrounding her, holding a whole bunch of old school foam bad boy studio soundproofing? Alright, let me stop, because I have a serious question, and I would really love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you believe that the reason why Carlissa has a certain level of empathy for Diddy's mom is because she too raised an abusive, womanizing, misogynistic son? Let me know in the comments. I don't know, but something about hearing Carlissa say that makes me feel like these two might need to get together. Like her and Janice Combs may need to get together and form a group. You remember how like back in the 80s, mothers used to form organizations like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I mean, Janice Combs and Carlissa just might need to meet up and form their own group called MOAN, Mothers of Abusive Ninjas. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. They can get together at a VFW and they can sit down and discuss in a circle of women what went wrong with their sons. And since I guess you could say that the theme of this particular video is journalistic and YouTuber integrity, let me share this. Benzino has now jumped online to call out Stephen A. Smith. Check this out.
Opinions about Nicki Minaj, opinions about Diddy, opinions about... Get the fuck out of here with your opinions. Stick to sports. I'm gonna start calling out these podcasters, these anchormen, these people that all of a sudden have so much of opinion on our culture when, you know, back in the day they was probably told to stay away from us. Today we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Now I'm going to call a lot of these guys out moving forward. He's the first one, right? Stephen A. Smith, you never gave a fuck about anybody in hip-hop. You never gave a fuck about the culture. You never reported on it. You never talked about it. I'm sure a lot of your people that employed you told you to basically keep away from it. Because it wasn't sexy back in the day to be talking about guys from the hood and the street. That's really what hip-hop is and where it came from. None of you, and there's others, I'll be talking about them, but I'm not going to group up. I want to keep my focus on Stephen A. Smith and his opinions. I want Stephen A. Smith to really understand, in the hip-hop culture, you hold no weight. You absolutely hold no fucking weight. Nobody gives a rat's about your opinion on anything that has to do with hip-hop and culture. Now all of a sudden, since a lot of people have platforms and a lot of people, you know, it's the in thing to do, and a lot of companies have finally opened their doors for advertising to deal with people from the street, that doesn't give you any type of right to mention anything about us at all. Now all of a sudden you have opinions about Nicki Minaj, opinions about Diddy, opinions about... Get the fuck out of here with your opinions. Stick to sports. Stick to sports. Right? You reported on basketball. Now I'm sure a lot of baseball people don't like you talking about baseball. I'm sure a lot of football people don't like you talking about football. It's the same thing, but you getting your money. You're a black man. You're at ESPN. So be it. Stay the fuck out of hip-hop business. Alright, I could say that. I could call all you phony out. You're the first one, Stephen A. Smith.
Alright, so after Benzino said that, a whole bunch of people weighed in, and one person was like, I cuffs with Benzino. He was the Source magazine. He knows a lot about the industry. And then somebody else was like, I don't ever agree with this dude, but on this one, and then somebody else was like, he's not lying. Now everybody's so invested in the culture that NYC built. Listen, let me know in the comments. Do you agree with Benzino when he says that Stephen A. Smith needs to stick to sports and he needs to stop making comments about stuff that's going on in hip-hop culture? Let me know what you think down below. Listen, let me know what you think about MC Shan jumping online and calling out Jaguar Wright. Torre saying that putting Jaguar Wright on Piers Morgan elevated her rumor mongering to journalism. Sherelle and her husband saying Torre is part of the machine. And guess what? He was probably over there at one of them Diddy parties. Charlamagne saying the only reason that Jay-Z and Beyoncé as well as other artists have not sued Jaguar Wright as well as other bloggers is because YouTubers are too broke to sue. And Blueface's mom Carlissa asking, where in the world are all the soldiers that are supposed to be walking Diddy's mom in and out of that courtroom to protect her from all of those savages that are screaming at her from like 80 feet away? Listen, let me know what you think about all of that in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.